What's good, party people? This is According to Woods, powered by BodySlam.net, and I have the honor and privilege of having Bellator's own Janay Hollowpoint Harding as she prepares for her fight at Bellator Hawaii in a week from Saturday. Janay, what's going on?
Nothing much, just doing interviews and enjoying my time here in San Diego.
How's that been? Obviously, San Diego is a beach town, is somewhat what you're used to, but how does it differ from home?
Yeah, I mean, very similar. The weather is similar, except it's a little bit drier than maybe the Gold Coast. But I mean, I think that's the appeal to me. Like it's almost like a home away from home. Very similar lifestyle. The beach is always like 15, 20 minutes away. Everything's very close. There's a lot of gyms here. The lifestyle's quite nice. The food's good. You can't really complain when you're in San Diego, that's for sure.
No, 100%. Which I mean, in terms of the ideology, by coming stateside to kind of obviously training is good, the cap is good, but getting a little bit of extra eyes on the details and what have you. How did that come about for you?
Yeah, I mean, last year, getting back after my last fight, I did my hotel quarantine. Obviously, COVID was sort of at its peak in Australia, and then we went into this crazy lockdown, and I couldn't train. All the gyms were closed. Everything had just turned a little bit crazy. We couldn't go more than 5 kilometers from our house, which is like 3 miles, and yeah, it was a little bit insane. So I decided to reach out to I had kind of visited San Diego briefly after my last fight, just trying to train and visit some gyms. And so I reached out to similar people like Alima and everything like that, and was like, man, I really need to get over there and keep training. Otherwise, I'm not going to be able to, do anything for the next few months. I don't know how long this lockdown's going to go for. So that's sort of what pushed me into a 3 month sort of stint over here in San Diego. I got to visit a whole lot of gyms and network and meet a lot of coaches and training partners, and it was a fantastic thing for me to do in my journey. And I obviously ended up taking time off, so that sort of took the pressure off. I wasn't trying to take any like last minute fights or expect anyone to facilitate a camp over here, which was positive, and I could just learn and grow and experiment and figure out what's good for me. And I think now long term it's going to be super positive because I've got this hub over here where I can come over and finish my camps or do my camps over here. And yeah, long term it'll be great considering every other fight I've done in Bellator, I've got there the week of the fight, and now I can do that, weeks before. So it's great.
No, 1,000%. And the good brother Flobo Boy says hollow points. Guy, you
So
yes. Now, in terms of getting bodies that are similar. Obviously, you spoke about Ilumale, but Liz Carmouche is over there. I mean, the Broadfather himself, Manolo Hernandez, who's just amazing and has a way about, I mean, fostering, world champions, but specifically females. You've got a lot of talent there. How cool you were talking about experimenting. How cool is it to experiment with other world champions, other elite females that are similar uh, weight classes as you?
yeah, I mean it's fantastic. There's a lot of girls in California that has been like basically available to me, and then also just we've all sort of banded together. We're all great people, which is cool. There's no sort of politics, and we try to get together as much as possible and make sure that we have each other as bodies and training partners. And yeah, like the likes of Angela Hill, Jessica Penn, we've got Jenna Bishop, Tina, like
Pettigrew.
unlimited amounts
Yeah.
of people. Like there's so many like Combate girls, UFC girls, Bellator girls, everyone. So it's fantastic, and we've really tried to stay consistent and create some sort of little like network and what we call like team coven to yeah continuously get better together.
No, absolutely. Now, in terms of Manolo's insight, because he's one of the he calls himself the Broadfather, and rightfully so. But I mean, what other looks have you gotten that you might have not gotten in training, not at that gym?
Yeah, I mean, I've I've had like a lot of great coaches and teams. I do bounce between a few gyms. Obviously, like you're saying, 10th Planet San Diego, and then I go to Azteca Boxing, and then I also go to Alianza Jiu-Jitsu every now and again for like the likes of Justin Flores. And I mean, there's just like such high level people and looks that I definitely wouldn't have had access to back in Australia. We have a growing MMA scene, which is fantastic, and I'm super proud of it. But at the same time, like we don't have the multiple high level fighters that are signed to the high level promotions everywhere. We have about a bunch or a handful between the whole country rather than in each state. Over in the US here, pretty much every gym you go to, you have at least one or two UFC fighters or something similar. Someone signed to a high level promotion, and that's, I think, something that makes it a bit different. It's not necessarily like better or worse, but it is just like a different level of networking and being able to get different looks like that.
No, 1,000%. Now, in terms of obviously from Australia coming here to San Diego, but then you're going on April 23rd, kind of close to where your home is in Hawaii, right? Did you account for the logistical kind of wrangling that you would have to do going from literally one side of the world to the other to the other?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, I came over to San Diego because it was a lot closer to Hawaii than Australia. Like it's gonna be a lot better not having to do the 30 hours of travel the week of the fight. Now I only really am like 5 hours away, which is incredible. Like it's a weight off my shoulders, and I'm excited to head over next Tuesday and be in a place that's also kind of similar to what home is like a little bit. I think the weather is going to be great. It's been great in Gold Coast, and it's been great in San Diego, and now I'm just chasing even better weather in Hawaii. So it's just super exciting.
Absolutely. And one thing about you is you're a bit of a tenured young vet. You're kind of a legend to all of the girls and guys in Australia that are kind of coming up, and to fight for a big stage like Bellator. That's incredible. How has been the outpouring of support, especially after the injury and what have you? How's that been for your psyche?
Yeah, I mean, it's been fantastic. Like each fight I kind of get surprised about the support. It's almost like you've like, it is a very lonely sport, so then you sort of are not sure if anyone's watching, and then each fight I'm surprised more and more with who's paying attention, and how many people back home in Australia and New Zealand are actually fans and following the journey. And it's I really appreciate that. Like at the end of the day, I'm just a person in my mind, and obviously I have done quite a lot in the Australian New Zealand team, and scene, sorry, and I'm just trying to do it for the next people and the next generation after me, trying to grow this sport and make sure that Australian New Zealand does get put on the map a little bit more. Those people that came before me paved the way for me, and then I'm just going to keep trying to hand it down and create more opportunities for us over in the Pacific. So it's exciting, and I mean, it definitely helps mentally coming into this next fight, knowing that people are behind me, people are supporting me, people have seen the sacrifices that I've made and the journey that I've had, and it's just like, overwhelming almost.
Absolutely. Now, I know it's kind of tight, with the fight being on the 23rd, but Flobo Boys wants to know any meet and greets planned for San Diego.
Um, Not before the fight, possibly after. We might organize something because obviously it's going to be pretty chaos up until we leave to Hawaii next Tuesday. So it's pretty crazy. But I am looking to come here on my way back home before I head back to Australia. And yeah, so hopefully maybe we can tee something up.
There you go. Now, your opponent, Nada Silva, is a tenured vet, Brazilian, and much like the Polynesian Islands and what have you, the Pacific Islands, uh, Brazil is known for fighters and breeding fighters. So, what makes her different than some of the other opponents that you faced in your past?
Yeah, I think I don't think I've really been up against a Brazilian yet. I've fought a couple of Irish girls or slash Welsh. I've for Russians and obviously Australians and Americans and that kind of thing. I don't think I've fought a Brazilian before. She's definitely a gamer. She loves to stand. These are all like great things for me. I think it makes for an exciting matchup and an exciting fight. Obviously, like quite tough and quite strong, and so yeah, that's exciting for me. She's fought some really high level girls too, so I know that she's proven herself to belong in the division like Bellator, in such a stacked division of our featherweight division. So it's exciting for me to see what new things she's going to bring as well from her last outing and all the stuff coming off her well-rounded game already.
Absolutely. Now you're fully in fight cap mode, but what are some of the things that you feel like you're lacking that once the fight is over? Obviously, you're going to be in Hawaii for maybe a cup of tea, but are you looking at, kind of taking in the local culture?
Absolutely. I'm looking at spending a couple of days in Hawaii. I'm very lucky that I've got a lot of friends there and a lot of people that are coming over with us that are from there. And so I should get the insights for the local spots and everything. I'm definitely looking forward to some good Hawaiian food and some Polynesian culture and stuff like that too, especially the day after. So yeah, excited to check out the beaches, see how they compare to Australia and New Zealand, especially, and then yeah, just explore and see. Hawaii's been somewhere I've wanted to go to for a very long time, so I'm excited.
Amazing. And we're excited for you to see the Hollowpoint back in action for Bellator Hawaii. There's a numerical, of course, but it's Bellator Hawaii. That's what we're saying on the street. But as they follow your rise to Bellator MMA prominence, where can people find you on social media?
Yeah, pretty much all my social media across the board should be at Janay Harding. On Instagram, Facebook is the second best, and then I am on Twitter, but I don't use it enough. We are on Twitch, and then I'm also on Millions. So if you guys wanted to ask me anything, or we've got some merch coming really soon, and we've got some watch parties and stuff coming through on millions.co as well.
I can't wait. And I've linked all of the socials right here in the description for anybody who's watching. So there you go. But Janae, good skill. Come Bellator Hawaii. And thank you for doing this. Thank you guys for joining us here at According to Woods. Go ahead and subscribe to the podcast. But if you don't believe me, here's Zeta Zhang.
Hey, this is Zeta Zhang. Make sure you subscribe to According to Woods YouTube.